Aloha world, and welcome to another episode of The Queer and the Queen. I am Jacobi Jones, your in-house queer, and today we have a new queen with us. We're going to be having new queens on the show from time to time, and we have a new queen with us today, Portia Sneed.
Hey, what's up?
So I'll introduce you a little bit. Portia, you're a mother of four, happily married, and I believe you have a job in banking and finance.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I
Which,
am. I'm an ops manager.
okay, all right.
Mhm.
Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you
Today,
for having me.
yes, absolutely. It's exciting. Today, we're going
Yes.
to cover a few topics over everything from Quavo and Sweetie and that whole elevator incident
Okay.
to Derrick Jaxn and his whole scandal with him cheating on his wife, to your views
Mm-mm.
on some LGBTQ things and how you would feel about it being a parent of four. You never know what kind of kids you got. And
Yeah. So,
also, I want to hear your controversial opinions on this Lil Nas topic. First,
okay.
I would suggest everybody go to TikTok and follow Portia. Her handle is cupcake6984, and she cracks me the fuck up. Okay. So
I be trying. You know what I'm
okay, but I'm
saying?
gonna get into the beginning of you with you being a parent. You have four children. I believe you have
hmm
four boys and a girl.
I
Right.
have three boys and one girl.
Three,
You
three,
added. Don't
yeah,
be
three.
adding no extra kids in there like that. Don't do that. Don't be doing that.
Okay, so in all, how would you feel if one of your children came out as homosexual or lesbian?
Well, you know me. Um, I'm pretty open minded, so that kind of stuff does not bother me like that. I'm not afraid of my kids coming out to me at all. Like I hope that they come out to me. And even now, like my two older kids are 14 and 12 years old. And sometimes when I talk to them about stuff, I'll be like, when you grow up and you have a girlfriend, and then I'll pause and I'll be like, or a boyfriend. And then, they do that, mom, but you don't
That's so good. That is so great that you
know.
do
I really
that.
do that.
That
Like they
is
think
so.
I'm
I am
joking
so
around.
happy to hear that we have a black woman, Christian, because you are Christian. I don't know how often you go to church, but I know you're religious. That is
hmm
making their children feel comfortable in a safe space to be themselves and be honest about it. Now, let me ask you this: how would
hmm
you feel if one of your children at their youth before 18 said, "Mom, I feel like I'm a boy or I feel like I'm a girl and I want to start dressing that way and I want to cut my hair this way and I want to," do you feel, because I know some parents feel the obligation to protect their children, which is completely
hmm
natural, but then I
Right.
also am torn in a space with that where I feel like you should allow your child to express themselves and teach them to be proud of who they are.
Yeah. That is most definitely a more difficult question. I guess I really never thought about that too much into depth, but I would try to be as supportive as I can, of course, because I always want my kids to feel like they can come to me no matter how major it is.
Right.
Because growing up, my mother was a born again Christian woman, hardcore in the church. You know what I'm saying? And I used to feel like I couldn't go to her with a lot of things that I was having problems with because of her religion, and I knew she wasn't going to accept it or
Right.
even be open minded to even trying to accept it.
Right.
Where me, I'm different. Where even though I might not necessarily think about it right now, if it came up, I'm most definitely going to try to do my best to, even if I don't understand like why, I'm going to try to understand.
Right.
So
Right.
counseling, I would probably do like together just so I could be more open minded. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want them feeling like they can't come to me for anything.
Right.
They should be able to, like you said, have a safe space. At
Right.
least they know when they come home at at least my mom's gonna be, at least I know my mom's gonna have my back at the end of the day.
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh Lord.
and I
Let
know
me tell
it's a
you.
tough thing, but like I wouldn't, now, not necessarily like a, I think it's ridiculous when I see people that have like infant children or toddlers and they be like, oh, you know, she's a girl, but she wants to be a boy. Like, how do they even know anything about that kind of stuff at that age, you know?
Right.
But at a certain age, you know, I can see.
At a certain age, you can see them expressing themselves.
Yeah, you know, but not too early like that, because I think that's ridiculous.
Right.
Because at that point, I think it's the parent. That's you.
Right.
You want
some
them
people
to,
want
yeah.
some women want that. They want like a gay friend, a gay child, because they want that gay best friend. And it's
right.
I think there's beauty to be found in that open-heartedness, but there's also psychological trauma to be like trying to force someone to be something that you want them to be. That's just like trying to force a kid to want to be a basketball player when really they want to be a hair designer or a clothing designer or dresser. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
That. I completely.
So it just depends. So like, I don't agree with that, but not necessarily. Who's Gabrielle Union and what's her? I forgot the husband.
Dwayne something.
Yes. Like I totally applaud them.
Me too.
Because I know that's hard being in the light like that. You know how people be judging them just because they accept their child.
Okay, so speaking about that, right? You know how Lil Boosie judged them, and I'll be looking at that shit like, you gremlin ass motherfucker, like the nerve of you to be sitting here talking all this shit about this fucking child, and they're doing like that. You know, that's not, that child is not your problem. You're not the one raising that kid. Like the nerve.
And like, what is wrong with parents accepting their children the way they are? You know, that's not like a little kid. Like at that age, that's when kids will start to, you know, have those feelings and stuff like that. And that's
gravitate
the most
towards
important
ways
time
of expressing themselves.
Right. So I commend them because I know that's hard than being in the spotlight like that. People
I think
watching
their daughter's name is Zaya or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man, that Lil Boosie shit pissed me all the way the fuck off. But you know what? At the end of the day, Lil Boosie is a nobody who says controversial shit because he's addicted. In my opinion, he wants to be in the limelight. No, he just wants to be in the limelight. So he gonna say outlandish shit so he can be trending at the moment. He gets how I think he gets how this social media thing works. So you say outlandish shit and everybody's talking about you for 24 hours. You know what I mean? And he might make a little money and do some interviews, and you know what I mean?
Right.
But
this is coming from, you know, I'm sorry, I do not respect his opinion, especially because this is the same guy that said he hired some fucking prostitutes for his 12-year-old son or something like that.
Right. And you know what pissed me off about that is I think society is ignoring the fact that you raped this little boy.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And I just can't believe a grown woman would do some shit like that.
Well, a hoe is a hoe is a hoe is a hoe. So you know what I mean?
But come on, like a child.
It's
a child.
I mean, but you know, there's some hoes out there. Because first of all, let's wrap around the concept of a hoe. You brainwash anyway. A hoe with a pimp. Because you know, I know some independent hoes out there who work hard for their money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a brainwashed hoe will do whatever the fuck they told to do, especially for that dollar sign. So he probably told her, hey, I think I'm trying to get the gay out of him. I need you to just go. You know how it was when we was growing up. And he got that. He pisses me off with that old school bullshit that he got going on in his head. Like, evolve with the fucking times. Just back in my day, you know, the way I was raised, the way I came up, where I come from, you know, who gives a fuck where you come from? Who gives a fuck how it was when you were growing up? The times evolve. Grow the fuck up and move on with the evolve. You know what I mean? Like, it pisses me off.
I don't know. Like, I don't agree with that either. That the whole double standard because if that was a little girl and you hired a grown man to, you know,
so he also,
like, it would have been an uproar.
He also just said some shit about Lori Harvey and how don't nobody want to be your 8th boyfriend, or don't nobody want to be with you after you've been in the public light with 8 different dudes. Like, you just like it's the irony, the ignorance of like, he don't got nothing to say about some basketball player having 6 wives over and over and over again. But and this girl ain't no proof that you slept with none of these men. You just casually dating people, and because your father-in-law is popular, you're popular too. And
Mm-hmm.
the audacity of him, you know what I mean? Like he
Mm-hmm.
bothers my soul. So
37.
we knew someone when we were growing up, and I actually have a friend now, and I talk to her about this all the time when she does it, where they be cussing their kids smooth the fuck, you fucking idiot. Da, 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 da.
Oh
I
yeah.
just can't wrap my brain around.
Yeah, I don't talk to my kids like that. You know, I do, you know, I mean, I'm human. They do frustrate me and I sometimes lose my temper, but I've never like told
What's
any
the
of them that
worst
they were
thing you ever said
stupid.
to one of your kids?
Probably shut the fuck up. But I ain't never
I wish
like
I could
called
have been
nobody
there
their
for that.
name.
I could just see you being like, shut the fuck up.
That was probably the worst. And even then I felt bad after I said it, like after I calmed down and was like, you know, I could have handled that differently.
Yeah. That is
But you know, I'm not gonna
hilarious.
just be like, you stupid motherfucker, go shut the fuck up, go get, you know what I'm saying? Don't be
Yeah.
nothing like
Oh,
that.
yeah. Yeah. What do you think about this Derrick? How you say his last name? Jackson?
Jackson. It's Jackson. I don't know if he just decided to try to be
Make it with
different.
the
And
X.
yeah.
Right. So
Oh no.
I watched the video, and I mean, for me, as I have the same question everybody else got, is why does she have a bonnet on? Like, why does
You
she?
know, I don't even care about the wife. Like I'm a little bothered that everybody attacking the wife, acting like justifying, oh, the out cheat on her too. Woo, woo, woo. Like everybody now, come on now, you know damn well it don't matter what you look like.
Right,
She could have been Beyonce got cheated on. Halle Berry
right,
done got cheated on. Come on now. It ain't
right.
got nothing to do with the way she looked. And I actually feel bad for her that he even dragged her into the mess. That was his mess. How now everybody attacking her? She ain't got nothing to do with it.
You know what? I did feel bad for her too, but I didn't feel bad for her because she got dragged into the mess, because I do believe that we're, as adults, we make our own choices and decisions, right? So nobody made her get on there and stand by her man. You know what I mean? Not even him. He can't. I mean, if you want to take, even if you are brainwashed, at the end of the day, you have to grow up and take some kind of responsibility for your choices and your actions. So she chooses to stay. She chose to get on that
That's
camera.
true.
She chose all that shit, right? So, but I did feel bad for her though, because it's embarrassing as fuck.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, why does she have a bonnet on? Like, I just
It do look like she just rolled out of bed, but like he came in there like, baby,
get up.
come make this video with me real quick. Right. Oh, but did you see his so you know how he did he always does reactions to videos. You know that,
You know,
right?
and honestly, I have seen like little stuff of this dude in the past, but I didn't really start researching who he was until this went down.
But I was gonna say, well, I was bringing that up because he reacted to that video like it wasn't him in the video with his wife. Did you see that?
No, what'd he say?
It tripped me out because he was talking about himself in the third person. Like I cracked up because he was like, first off, the wife looked like she didn't even want to be there, like she was just made to be there. And I'm thinking, like, you realize this is you and your wife in the video. You gotta go look at it.
Oh my God. This speaks unfortunate volumes on his wife's self-worth, because how dare you try to make a fool of me to get $1? You know what I mean? Like, now, unless you don't mind, because me as someone who likes to be comical and on social media, I don't mind making a fool of myself in attempts to make money. You know what I mean? But the way she was sitting up there with that bonnet and whatnot, she looked like she not one of those people. You know what I mean? So I don't see her being like, I want to be made a fool out of. But it also
she didn't help when she tried to make the video explain on what she was wearing.
Talking about this is a outfit of a warrior or some shit, and I was just like, oh, sweetie,
yeah. I was like, oh, baby,
you off your meds, girl. You off your
girl,
meds,
right? Like, you know, girl. You making it worse.
Where are your all I was thinking was, where are your friends? Where are your friends to tell you, to shake you and be like, hey, come on now, right now, you need to make some different choices. Okay, so in the concept of this celebrity news and pop culture and current event, Quavo and Sweetie elevator footage got released. Now, I don't know if you saw it, but I know that they breaking up, right? I watched a bunch of reactions. They say he threw her to the ground, but he didn't throw her to the ground. He did shove her back into the elevator, and his force and her weight didn't match, so she fell to the ground,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't like do her ass to the ground. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, like, how did they even leak this footage anyway? Because didn't this happen like a while ago?
I think it was within the last month, and I do believe the footage was leaked because it was in, I believe, either like in his or her condominium, like the building where they lived. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then
It was her.
there was some point where he knew we were being recorded because there's cameras in here, and while she's
Mm-hmm.
laying on the ground trying to get herself together, was sitting on the ground trying to get herself together, he's got his back to her and turns to the camera, and then he turns around, he just looks straight at the camera, and then it's just like, and then he calms down. It's like he looked like he's like, come on, man, get up, let's get up, like, cause he know now I gotta act like I'm a good person because this has a potential to go somewhere. But before that, it was like, bitch, give me your suitcase. You ain't going no fucking where. Sit your motherfucking ass down. It was that kind of, for real. It looked like that kind of energy until he remembered he was on camera. I also saw on Unwind with Tasha K. Shout out to you, Tasha K. I love your show on YouTube. She said that she's been saying for years that Quavo has always been a cheater because anytime he has a function or a gathering at his home, he makes the security lock up his cameras and let me lock up people's phones. So my question is, what do you think of a relationship, staying in a situation or removing yourself from a situation with someone who's clearly narcissistic?
Yeah, I didn't see the video, so I don't know exactly like what it looked like or how, you know what I mean? I've just been hearing all the talk about it. And, you know, like I've been hearing on the Breakfast Club and stuff like that. I didn't actually get a chance to go look at the video. So I don't know how it looked, but it sounded like it was pretty bad from what I'm hearing.
Right.
So in any abusive situation, I would hope a woman would be strong enough to separate herself from that situation.
The violence, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's, you know, once they put in your hand, you know, not saying you should just stay there and get verbally abused or anything, but physical abuse, I just most
you know what I
definitely.
learned from, and I learned this from Steve Harvey, who I'm not a huge fan of, but I did learn this from him because I was in a physical abusive relationship one time and hands was put on, and I you know, I reached a point where, you know, I started fighting back, but it's just, we shouldn't be fighting each other, right? We're supposed to love each other. But Steve Harvey, and I stayed, and we got into several physical altercations, and in my head, I was in that space, which I never thought I would be there. As you knew me as growing up, like I love the color purple. I love what love got to do with it. Ain't no man gonna treat me like that. You know what I mean? That was my attitude. And then I found myself in that situation, and all I would say to myself is like, well, I love him. He loves, but I know he loves me though. Like, and it's just fucked up right now. But then Steve Harvey said something to me that really resonated with me that I believe is really true for every domestic situation. If a man has a man who says he loves you has enough brain function to go through the motions of closing his fist and striking you with it, every blow is him telling you, I don't want to be with you. I really don't want to be with you. And I'm striking you because I don't really want to be here, but I feel stuck too because I love, but that's their mental illness telling you, I don't really want to be with you. I just feel stuck too.
Yeah.
And I was just like, he's fucking right. So did you see this Lil Nas video?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, so
I
what?
wasn't I don't see the big deal.
Me neither. Oh my God. I was just like, what is all this controversy about? Like, this video is actually boring to me. Like, I was bored.
Right,
it was
the way it was blowing up, you would think it was gonna be like
I
him
thought
sucking
it was,
some dick.
Yes, I thought it was gonna be something like that, or like the devil's hitting it from the back, and all he did was slide down the pole and give the devil a lap dance.
Then he killed him,
and that was it.
He killed him at the end. You saw that, right?
Yeah. And then he put the horns on him, and he became the devil. And it's just like, what's this big deal? But you know what the big deal is? The big deal is the church. The big deal is the church.
You know it is.
And you know he got those new shoes with a drop of blood in them and all that shit. And I loved what he said.
That's a little much to me right there, but you know.
I mean, It doesn't bother me at all. But I do love what he said was, I can't spend my career being worried about how your children's feelings. That's your job. It is
Exactly. You know, and I agree with every celebrity that says that. Like, people have a bad habit of doing that. It's not the celebrity's responsibility to monitor what your children are watching. That is your at the parent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just like with Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, how they all older. You saw that controversy when Cardi B, she was listening to WAP and her daughter came walking in and she heard and turned it off and everybody was like, oh, you gonna let your daughter listen to it? I would hope not.
Right.
You should let your kids listen to it. Like,
right.
like, they're adult entertainers. They're not. Nobody said they were ever for children. You know, he made one song that was appealing to kids, and now you expect him to be a role model for your children. No, that's not how that works.
I completely agree. But thank you for coming to the show today. We're going to wrap it up. I try not to have these episodes be too long. Portia will be back for another episode, though, you guys. This is Portia Sneed. Go follow her on TikTok. I'll tag everything. Her handle is Cupcake6984. You know, the irony of that is my birthday is 6984. June 9th, 1984. Y'all mark the calendar down and send shit to my P.O. box as a bitch love presents. But,
that is funny because the 6'9" was just because I'm just freaky, you know what I'm saying? 84.
You know, the same thing here. Like, I was just like, that's why I'm such a freak, because my birthday is 69. Like, that's why I am the way that I am.
Put that till you pointed it out. I was like, you sure is right. I didn't even notice that.
It's true, though. It's true. Well, thanks for coming to the show. It's been a pleasure to have you. We'll have a new queen on the next episode, you guys. And as I always say, don't forget to smile.